All right, we're going to take a look at Parker's November 2013 video, and here's full speed, followed by half speed. And we're going to start at the top and just basically work our way down. This is 10% speed, so real slow-mo, and we'll be able to break it down pretty much frame by frame here. And we'll stop it maybe about 2-3 yards or so, say 3 yards. And we're going to start at his upper body. And you notice how his arms are getting separated from his body. He's twisting his shoulders around. One's going behind and one's going in front, followed by his arm coming across the front. And again, this creates an east-west movement, which definitely slows you down, especially with that huge separation of the arm there. It's just basically like a pendulum kind of swinging back and forth. So we want to get him to quiet all that down, square the shoulders up, keep his arm like an L, and keep everything more close like hip to pocket. And we're going to go forward a little bit more here. And we'll probably stop it, stop at about 7 yards. And we're going to take a look at his knee drive. One of the main reasons he's not quicker than he necessarily should be is he doesn't really use his height to his advantage. He's got longer legs, he could stride out a little bit more, but he doesn't pick his knee up. He's probably about 8 inches or so from being where he needs to be. And the smaller the knee drive, the smaller the step, the smaller the step, the smaller the space that you go. And then, of course, that's compounding over every step. So if we can get him to drive his knee up, we can get a more efficient stride and cover more ground per stride, which would help him not have to move his legs quite so fast. We're going to bring it forward a little bit more, and you're going to notice there's actually going to be a bunch of things we're going to look at here on this one. He's striking on the heel of his foot. We need to get him to flip that over, land on the ball of his foot, and kind of push through and drive the earth behind him. Also, his feet or his legs go into the same lane. So you have a left leg and a right leg, and you want to have a left lane and a right lane, and he's kind of just going in the same lane. Kind of like if he was running in the snow, he had the same footprint. And last, he's leaning too much, and that's another component of why he doesn't have a good knee drive. He's leaning over his knees, which kind of presses the knees down. So we want to get him to stand a little bit taller once he gets out on his sprints. And we're going to finish the run out here. Going forward a little bit more, we're going to take a look at his vertical. He scored a 13 here. Obviously, we want to see him do better here. Explosive power creates speed. So this is one of the things that we'll be keying on right here. Next thing is his standing broad jump. He jumped a 4 foot. And technique is fairly okay here. There'll be some things that we'll work with him on. But again, we need him to have explosive speed and power so he could quickly get by defenders or get in front of defenders, etc., on the lacrosse field. And we'll skip forward a little bit more here, and we're going to take a look at his lateral movement. One of the things about being a great athlete is having the ability to move all different directions, backwards, forwards, laterally. If you can move quickly in all those areas, you'll be a more efficient athlete. So his technique here isn't necessarily bad. He's standing a little bit too tall, but I mean the main thing is at the end of the day, he's just too slow. We got to help him get a little quicker, and we'll definitely do that. Going forward, we're going to take a look at his scores. And this is a great baseline for him to have because it gives him a real sense of accomplishment when he sees in the next 90 days, how far he's come. Push-ups, we weren't able to do any. I'm not sure if he could do them as we want them anyway, but he was saying his shoulder was hurting. And also, his 10, 20, 40 times definitely need to come up, or go down a lot. Another thing we want to work on is his strength. His leg strength, his core strength, he's way underpowered for as big as he is, and that's just because he's young as well, but we'll definitely work on those areas.